So, when you think of Italy, what pops into your head? For most of us, it's the Colosseum, right? The taste of amazing pasta, the fashion in Milan, it's this beautiful picture we all know and love, a country just soaked in history and tradition. But listen, what if I told you that's only half the story? That behind that perfect postcard, a totally different Italy is taking shape.
So that's what we're going to do. In this explainer, we're swapping out the familiar. We're trading ancient ruins for smart cities. We're looking past Renaissance art to see cutting-edge space tech. And instead of just pasta and wine, we're talking about a new generation of young farmers and viral street markets. It's a story of incredible transformation.
And our first stop is a place you probably think you know inside and out: Rome, the Eternal City. But hold on, we're not just here for its past. We're here to talk about its future.
Yep, you heard that right. In 2024, Rome won the Smart City Award, beating out cities from all over the globe. I mean, this is a huge international honor. It recognizes cities that are truly pushing the boundaries of public innovation. So how in the world did an ancient capital manage to pull this off?
Well, here's what's really cool. Rome's strategy isn't about flashy tech for the sake of it. The real mission, the core idea, is to make daily life better for its people. It's about using technology to build a city that's fairer, more sustainable, and more modern for everyone who lives there.
And this isn't just talk. We're looking at real-deal projects that are already making a difference. Things like rolling out 5G in more than 100 public squares, using AI to manage that infamous Roman traffic in real time, and even creating special centers to help police and improve public safety. These are the practical, on-the-ground changes that got Rome that award.
But this whole reinvention thing, it's not just happening in the capital. Let's zoom out a bit, because across the entire country, some really deep demographic shifts are changing the face of the nation. Now get this, as of early 2025, Italy has over 23,000 people who are 100 years old or older. Just let that sink in. That number has more than doubled in just over 15 years. It's an absolutely stunning fact about longevity. So, what's the secret sauce here? Well, it's probably a mix of things you'd expect: that healthy Mediterranean diet, strong family and community bonds, and of course, good, accessible healthcare. Turns out the classic Italian lifestyle really has something to it. And it's not just about age. There's a quiet revolution happening in education. Women are now the majority of university graduates in Italy. At the master's level, it's a staggering 7 out of 10. Think about what that means. This is a shift that's going to completely reshape the country's workforce and leadership for generations.
And here's another surprise for you. While youth employment is kind of dipped in some areas, one sector is absolutely booming. For people under 35, jobs in agriculture jumped by 18% in a single year. A whole new generation of Italians is going back to the land.
And this isn't just some statistical fluke, It shows a massive shift in how people see things. Nearly 3/4 of all Italians now believe farming is a real, attractive career path for young people, a way to blend tradition with a modern, sustainable focus. Which brings us to one of the coolest themes happening in Italy today: this incredible blend of past and future, where old-school heritage is getting remixed for a brand new era. And it all starts with a simple question. What happens when something as traditional as a neighborhood street market smashes into the world of social media?
The answer? They become TikTok sensations. I'm not kidding. Vendors are filming their day, creators are interviewing shoppers, people are showing off their finds. It turns out that in a world full of super polished content, the raw, unfiltered, real-deal vibe of the market is exactly what people are craving. And this hunger for authenticity is spilling over into everything, especially tourism. See, travelers don't just want to taste famous food anymore. They want to connect with the people behind it. They want small group tastings, dinners in an actual olive grove, real conversations with the producers. It's all about the experience.
Okay, now let's do a complete 180. We're going from the olive grove to outer space. Because at the same time Italy is celebrating its traditions, it is pouring serious money into its high-tech future. Over the last decade alone, the country has put more than 7 billion euros into its space sector.
And you know what's so interesting about this? It's not just a couple of giant companies running the show. The whole industry is incredibly diverse. Small and medium-sized firms make up the vast majority of it. This mix of smaller companies, startups, and big players gives Italy a complete A to Z supply chain in space tech.
And because of that super solid foundation, Italy has become this indispensable go-to partner for huge international projects. We're talking about everything from missions to the moon to building parts for orbital space stations. Italy is carving out its role as a major player in the final frontier.
So, okay, we've got smart cities, massive demographic shifts, a fusion of tradition and high-tech. But all this rapid change brings up a whole new set of challenges. And the big one is figuring out how to balance all this innovation with growth that includes everybody.
Let's take the startup scene as an example. On the one hand, it looks amazing, right? It's a powerful engine for creating jobs, responsible for almost 70,000 of them by 2024. That sounds like a huge win for the new Italian economy.
But when you peel back that first layer, the picture gets a little more complicated. The reality is, a tiny fraction of these companies, less than 8% of them, are creating 2/3 of all those jobs. The vast majority of startups are actually staying pretty small.
And that, right there, is the big puzzle to solve. Making sure all this incredible investment in innovation doesn't just benefit a handful of superstars. The real challenge is to turn it into broad, sustainable opportunities that lift up the entire country.
Which leaves us with one final big question. Italy's past is legendary. It's a cornerstone of Western civilization. But as the country transforms so quickly, the real question is this: can it build a future that is every bit as remarkable? Something to think about.